Hey there, and welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3. My name is Pete, and today we complete another episode of this Honor Mode walkthrough with our Dark Urge Halfling Bard Sylvia Hairyfoot. Last time we left off, after arriving at the Goblin camp, we met Sazza, the goblin we freed from the Emerald Grove and bypassed a group of guards, who we then killed anyway, alongside a few others. Afterwards, we entered the party proper, saw that the goblins had captured the bard Volo, took part in the chicken chase and freed the owlbear cub, and had a fight with Crusher, whose dead body currently lies in front of us, his ring safely in our possession. We also advanced up to level 5 and can now continue exploring the party. Up first, we've got a group of goblin children.
You look like you think you're hard. Mess with us, and you'll end up like this bleeder.
Now, let's take it easy for a moment. Before returning the threats in kind, let's ask who the dead man is.
Don't matter who he was. He ain't nothing but a stain now. Just like you'll be if you don't clear off.
And since the little one keeps pushing the issue, let's make it very clear that we are not letting ourselves be pushed around.
Oh, you're real tough, bullying a kid. Sod or I'll fetch my mum. She was as tough as wolf meat before the Absolute came along. Now she can punch out a dragon.
You could curdle warg milk with that ugly mug.
This stupid dead bastard. Give him a good kicking. He deserves it.
Now, while we could indeed give the body a kick, let's subdue our urge for now, and instead ask what the man did to deserve this, not that we're judging it.
He killed my mum and dad. Made a bloody orphan of me.
Understandable then, I suppose. Give him an extra kick for me, child.
At this point, we can now express our condolences for a small approval bonus, even though they likely won't mean much to the child.
I ain't bothered about it. Better off without them. Stupid old geezers should have put up more of a fight. Don't mean we can't enjoy putting the boot into this prick a stick, though. This ugly bastard is the first human I ever killed.
I'm talented.
Trophy. Cut off his ear.
Alright, now moving on, we run past the lone goblin brawler here and climb down the ladder. We'll deal with the guy later. For now, let's dig up another hidden treasure at the bottom of the ladder.
That might be worth a look.
We find some useful things inside and pocket them all, before we then follow the path along the river to find a small washing station underneath the bridge where we can collect soap and a sponge. Even further down, there is also a climbable rock wall and a trap right at the top. Luckily, we don't need to disarm it. If we're careful with Astarion here, we can simply sneak around to pick open the locked chest behind it. As you can see, any lock with a DC below 20 should no longer be any concern for him. With advantage and a plus 12 bonus before guidance, Astarion can open almost anything at this point, and we're still only in Act 1. Inside the chest then, he finds a decent chunk of valuables, including a +1 great axe, and on the stone table next to it, a note. Seems like one of the goblins was writing a love letter, with some rather unique goblin quirks. We take that, as well as the writing utensils, and the goods inside the vases too, and then make our way back to the ladder. Here, we want to go solo with Astarion once more, sneak up behind the goblin and take him out. The children will always run off, but don't worry, even if you remain completely hidden they will do so, but they don't alert anyone and just vanish. After looting the body, we can then also pick the lock of another chest nearby. This one can be accessed at any time though, as it is never marked as owned. Inside, we find some gold and an arrow, and on the dead adventurer 2 spell scrolls. highly recommended to pick those up. After collecting some alcohol from the crate here, we then climb another ladder to get onto the high ground. We can pick some autumn crocus here, and there is a skeleton a bit further down. We ignore the rock wall for now. Sylvia also spots a trap, and since the path is small and narrow here, we want to go solo again, this time with Shadowheart, casting guidance on herself and then slowly moving closer.
Looks like a trap there.
Thankfully, she spots all 3 traps, and once again there is no need to disarm them. We can just jump across to get Astarion to the chest that needs to be lockpicked. This gets us the glowing shield, giving its wielder temporary hit points if they fall below half health. Perhaps not the best item for our party, but we'll take it. Also of note, there is another collapsed burrow over here and a secret passageway that we don't want to use just yet, but let's keep it in mind for later. For now, we can regroup, climb up the rocks here, and continue exploring.
Goblins are such vile parasites.
Given your own nature, are you really the one to judge?
A stone bridge leads us to a small area with a skeleton and a hand axe. The skeleton carries some decent loot, the axe is pocketed to sell it later. This here is, by the way, another way to secretly enter the goblin camp. Up here is the windmill, where we freed the gnome a while back, and you can jump down here with a spell like Featherfall. Since we are already inside though, let's keep moving. A backpack is located next to a tree on the other side of the bridge, some balsam a little further down, as well as another hidden treasure.
Looks like the booze got the better of them. They're practically unconscious.
Sylvia, of course, refers to the drunk and sleeping goblins and bugbears down below. We'll take care of them in just a second. For now, let's grab the treasure. And it's plenty, lots of useful potions and elixirs. Now then, to deal with the sleepers, we don't want to just jump down with the entire party here. Instead, for now, we only want to drop down with Astarion.
Paws heck. My head hurts bad. You crash about like a drunken ogre. I'll rip your tongue. Break your legs. Make you quiet.
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
Right, our noise has woken him up, avoidable with the silence spell, but also easily remedied with the persuasion option here. The DC is only 7, that should be doable even for Astarion.
Yes. Drink will help me to sleep again.
Now the DC is so low because we actually have to deliver. Luckily we kept a bottle of Ithbank and can now gift it to the bugbear to fulfill our promise.
What did you bring for me? Good. Go now, and do not wake me again.
Alright, now at this point, if we jump down with anyone else, we will wake him up again. So let's go solo with Astarion for a moment. The 2 bugbears are a little much for now, but the goblin is easily dispatched off, since hits on sleeping targets are automatic critical hits. The others don't notice, but before we attack them, we also want to get rid of 2 more sleeping goblins a bit further away. Once again, these pose no challenge to Astarion. The loot on them is passable, we are mostly doing this for the XP though, and can now help ourselves to a few other bits and bobs. 2 autumn crocuses on the grass here, a dragon egg mushroom a bit further down, a wooden trunk with torches nearby, and a second dragon egg mushroom next to the stairs. any further and we'd climb back down into the chicken chase parkour, so let's head back. And let's also take note of a cracked wall here, another possible passage to the goblin camp interior. However, for now it's time to deal with the 2 remaining bugbears. Chances are Astarion does not kill them in one blow, so let's move the rest of our party back a bit and hide them, so that they don't enter the initiative right away and can get stealth bonuses. Then we approach with Astarion and, well, all that preparation for a perfect sneak attack. The other bugbear did not wake up, so let's get rid of them too now. And there we go, that went better than expected, and we can now freely collect some more loot. There are a few potions right next to where the 3 of them slept, hidden next to a small cage. A barrel nearby also contains some drinks. We recovered the one we handed out as well, and can now speak to a lone goblin on the tower here.
Here, help us out. Says here that goblinoids are obstreperous and malodorous. What's that mean?
Well, it does mean smelly and noisy, but perhaps it's better we don't tell him that. Let's go with the bard option instead and find out how literate this guy really is.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I'd have said that. Bit wordy though, innit? Still, only other stuff to read round here is the filth Klagga scrawls in the latrines.
Now, it is admittedly a bit unusual to see a goblin so interested in literature. Let's comment on that and learn more.
That's what the bloke who wrote this said. Proper impressed by my brain smarts, he was. Said he's writing a book about the Absolute. Lads didn't like that. Said he was a spy or some such. Think they've locked him in the cells already. Well, I had a good chinwag with him, though. Interesting bloke.
He is, of course, referring to Volo, and before asking about the manuscript, let's ask if he has seen any other interesting people, like a druid, for example.
There were some troublemakers, but they're either dead or wishing they were. Don't know if there was a druid, though. He's probably down in the pens, fattening up the wargs like all the rest.
That gives us a possible location for Halsin, and maybe one for Volo too. Let's ask about that next.
Nah, we're keeping him as our own little plaything. As long as you don't ask any more awkward questions.
Right, awkward questions. Perhaps like the ones that we're currently asking.
He wanted to know if we felt any extra booyahg in the air since converting.
Now, we've heard the word Booyahg before, it's even in this guy's name, but what exactly does it mean?
Magic! Then what the Absolute choosers are brimming with it. Priestess Gut and our boss, Raxlin, are fierce and powerful now. Same as that drow.
Alright, sounds like a few of the goblins have gotten more powerful, but what about the tribe as a whole?
Yeah, Priestess Gut is fierce and powerful now. So's Raxlin, our boss. Them's true souls now, just like that drow. They have the kind of booyahg that comes from being chosen by a god.
Okay, so it's mainly good, Raxlin, and an unspecified drow. Let's keep that in mind and ask about the manuscript now.
I ain't finished with it. There's enough reading here to last me a lifetime.
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
Once again, there is no need to use illicit powers here. As a bard, we get a special deception check to convince him of the manuscript's worthlessness. Also of note, our proficiency bonus has increased to 3 at level 5, and as a bard we double it, so we now get a +9 to the roll, that is without guidance.
You're right. What does some bleeding outsider know that I don't? I'll be famous. And nobody will remember this pack of lies.
And with that, he vanishes into thin air, leaving us with Volo's writings. Let's read those to learn that he too has noticed this tribe being more courageous and more powerful due to their faith in the Absolute, a relationship that we should investigate further. For now, Gale gets an inspiration for reading the text, and we can help ourselves to some more loot in the area. Sylvia can now jump a bit further thanks to her new boots, which allows her to get across the gap here, a balsam and a bird's nest on the other side. On top of another small tower, there's also another chest with some gold in it, and we can see another chest near the tower on the other side. To get there, however, we'd need to jump across a much larger gap. Well, no problem, let's approach and quickly switch Lae'zel into the party. Before we send her off though, let's level her up. As a fighter, she now gains an extra attack at level 5, Karlach gains this too by the way, so she can now attack twice with one action before using Action Surge, which would boost that to 4 times per turn. She also gets the Misty Step spell to be used once per long rest, another way to get over there, but let's do it the old-fashioned way. Let's have her cross the 2 jump gaps here. On the tower in the middle we can find a health potion, while a thankfully unlocked treasure chest sits next to the second tower. There's also another bird's nest over here, and with that, Lae'zel's short time in our party is already at an end. We bring Shadowheart back now and move on. Heading down the stairs here towards the chicken chase course, we can pick up 2 goblin weapons that we can sell straight back to them in a moment, before we then approach Trekker Klagga at the fire pit.
Enjoying the view. Looking tasty in these new breeches, ain't I?
Well, goblins are not exactly Sylvia's taste, I assume, but sure, let's compliment him. Maybe it helps.
Proper stylish, ain't they? Nicked 'em off this dwarf we're cooking.
Obviously, the goblins cooking up a dwarf shouldn't come as a surprise, but let's learn a bit more about their cuisine here before we slaughter them all.
It's good meat, if you can get it. Better than bloody chicken, anyhow. Shame he was as poor as a chicken. Nothing in his pants except a couple of coins and some lousy poem.
And Sylvia has a sense of humor, that's for sure. So yeah, how about those coins then?
You having a laugh? I need the money to buy myself a belt.
Well then, let us at least try to see the poem.
Sure you can. But a look's all you're getting. For all I know, this little roaster was some famous bard. And you'll be selling his last words for a pretty penny.
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
One more chance here to use our illicit persuasion, but we'll pass. As a bard, we get an easy deception check here that helps us achieve the same result and earns us approval from Shadowheart and Gale.
Really? Oh, shite! You might as well use it as bog roll then. I'll get back to tending the meat.
Now, if we read that poem, it speaks about a grave and a door protecting it, specifically that the darkness may never conquer the Moon Maiden's door, and that there is a door under the temple with moons that turn. Let's keep all of this in mind should we encounter that door ourselves. For now, let's get a few more lines of dialogue from the rest of the goblins, beginning with those who witnessed our fight against Crusher.
Man, you're like the best guy I ever met. You just kicked him, like kick Crusher's ass. It's a secret, right? Between you and me. But I think I like you better. But don't tell him.
So you're following me? Think you're intimidating now? I ain't scared. I'll claw your eyes out if you come any closer.
Proud of yourself?
can beat him in a fair fight. You hear me? Not Crusher.
There is also another goblin taking care of the dwarf meat over here.
Meat ain't ready yet. Dwarves take an age to roast.
And we can ask him where they found that dwarf.
He found us. Don't know what he was doing here or where he came from. Lads inside are trying to get answers out of one of his mates.
Right, sounds like one of Halsin's people. Speaking of which, maybe he can tell us more about the druid.
Nah, druids are all beardy and woodsy, ain't they? This lot were a scabby gang of tomb robbers. Had a big old war bear with them, though. Took 5 of our meanest lashes to chain it up. We'll beat the fight out of it and make it one of our own.
And even though Gale won't like it, let's offer our services to learn more about Halsin's whereabouts.
Enjoy poking holes in people, do ya? He's inside. Keep to the right and follow the screams.
Up next then, we can learn a bit more about the priestess Gut.
Grab a drink before you see the priestess, Bucker. The branding stings something proper.
And since we only get one question here, let's ask about her healing powers. After all, that is why we're even stepping foot into this camp in the first place.
Seen her carve more folk than she's cured. Still, she's a chosen of the absolute now. See for yourself. Head inside and follow the sound of squealing novices.
Finally then, we've got a few more drinking goblins here.
Hey! You ain't rounding me up for no raid. No way. I'm drinking.
This one we can encourage to keep at it.
Yeah, here's to the absolute.
Bloody arm is killing me. Here's to the best sedative there is. Booze.
You hungry? Dwarf's getting good and crispy.
Having a drink. It's all the sweeter when it's free, innit?
And this one we can ask where they got it from, even though we likely know the answer already.
Where the hell do you get yours? From an inn. Numpty, course. You won't find much there now. Took all the good stuff before we burned it.
What's holding up the game? Owlbear ain't dead, is it?
Will you nick it out of their cold dead eyes?
This ale tastes like hobgoblin spit. Who's been puking in the barrel?
Right, now at this point, there is not much left for us to do here.
I got stuff if you got coin.
So let's sell off our remaining loot now, and we can also grab the Doom Hammer, a pretty great weapon against enemies that can regenerate health, as it stops that, and because of the tenacity feature, the hammer always hits for at least 1 point of damage to trigger that ability. Now up next we want to shift our focus to the booze tub over here, and we can interact with it. The game clearly prompts us to poison it, however doing so quickly sparks a confrontation.
Hey! You trying to slip or something?
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
And this time we want to use our illicit powers. This will be the last chance to do so before long resting again.
A shadow swims across your vision, and a familiar voice tells you to be calm. You are loved.
Now, if we continue fiddling with the tub at this point, someone else might confront us, so either we do it stealthily, difficult in a camp full of goblins, or in turn-based mode. Even in direct line of sight of everyone around, we can now drop 1 vial of basic poison into the tub, gain an inspiration for Sylvia, and watch what happens.
Is the sun going down?
Over here, lads. I propose a toast. offer. Come here, have a drink.
What should we toast to, eh?
And of course, Sylvia is ever the bard, so let's use this chance to propose a toast to everyone.
Guys! This'n's giving us a toast!
You raise your glass and shout.
And well, there are a few good ones here, but I don't think anything beats to drinking till we die.
Go on, drink up!
Now, we probably don't want to drink the spiked brew ourselves. Luckily, we don't have to, because as a bard we can perform a neat bartending trick with a performance check that we even get advantage on.
Bravo! Now get out of my way, I need another drink.
Alright, and so the goblins drink up, leading to the demise of roughly half of them.
You poisoned us!
The mark glows, but you feel nothing in response. Your illithid power is beyond reach until you rest.
Now, I found that for some reason the option to use illicit powers does not appear in this conversation, even if they were still available, so we'll have to rely on our deception for this. The DC of 15 is moderate but passable.
Snack! You're right. Whoever did this could be anywhere by now.
Okay, now this is a crucial moment in the camp, as the remaining goblins will now go on high alert and assume battle stations. They will no longer engage in any activities or conversations about poems, dwarf meat or whatever else, and Trader Grad also shuts down his shop at this point. However, they also spread out nice and evenly, with a few isolated stragglers at the edges of camp, the perfect opportunity to take out a few more of them without the rest noticing. This is, by the way, also the reason why we made it a priority to reduce the health of the other goblins in the Crusher fight last episode. Now they have fewer HP and are easier to kill. Once these two are down, we then want to head to the back area of the chicken chase parkour, where Andric and Brynna have retreated. However, before engaging them in conversation, let's put everyone not named Sylvia onto the high ground and into stealth mode. Then we speak to them and find out they're not quite as stupid as the goblins.
The drinks are poisoned! Traitor!
So, time to fight, but only these two. The goblins are too far away to notice this, and with Brynna being the easier target, we shoot her first. And there we go, Sylvia's damage output is definitely getting better. Up next, let's have Astarion take a ranged sneak attack. That's almost enough. Let's see if Shadowheart can hit for the kill. And there we go, 2 more down and Sylvia even gains an inspiration. After all, the two of them eventually suffered the same fate as their late brother Edwin. Unfortunately, they don't have any good loot on them, but we'll get plenty more chances, as we now set our sights on the remaining goblins. From this point on, any kill could get us detected. The game is a bit unreliable in that regard, so let's send everyone to different positions. Astarion goes and hides, Gale and Shadowheart take the high ground over here, Sylvia sneaks into the small tower, and Shovel goes invisible. Gale can also prepare Fireball instead of Flaming Sphere and use all remaining uses of Arcane Recovery to restore a 2nd level and a 1st level spell slot, before we then send Astarion to the high ground behind Track Attack and let loose an arrow. That's a sneak attack kill and no one notices, lovely. Let's do the same thing over on the other side now and shoot Crawler. She goes down too, but now we've got the Bugbear investigating. This would have been a great moment to initiate turn-based mode, but I think I panicked a little here, so we just move back a bit and try to shoot the enemy as he climbs up the ladder. Now at least that deals 9 points of damage before combat starts, and luckily all of this once again seems to take place far enough away from the others so that only the Bugbear turns hostile. That allows Sylvia to sneak up undeterred and to deliver 2 melee strikes from stealth. A ranged attack would have dealt more damage, but the hit chance was better this way. Sadly, even with a crit, we don't quite finish the job, so let's see if Astarion's 2 bonus actions can help us out. And indeed they can, which now makes the rest of the mission rather trivial, I'd say. After looting the bodies for weapons, we move Sylvia back to her original hiding place, while Astarion moves around and targets the big ogre with a sneak attack. And there we go, this triggers combat with the remaining 5 enemies, and we even gain surprise for this first round, something I had not been counting on. Thanks to the poisoned beer, our enemies are also almost all already damaged, so a crossbow bolt from Shadowheart here takes Klagga out easily. Even better, it does not reveal her, so we can have a fire again at the ogre now. 6 more damage and our cleric enters the initiative. Let's follow up with Gale and a Scorching Ray from stealth. A grand total of 31 damage, that's lovely, and it leaves only Sylvia, who can gain high ground advantage here for a ranged slashing flourish and a hit chance of 95% despite the target being out of range. 23 damage and the ogre goes down, which leaves us now with only the 3 guards by the gate, all melee fighters, and unable to do anything on this turn. So we set things up for a nice finale by moving Gale to the center courtyard here. Shadowheart might as well join him, and then on the next turn, just because I want to show it to you, we launch a fireball. A convenient fire wine barrel next to the gate will help it unfold its true potential. And there we go, a lovely explosion, and we're down to 1 lowly goblin with 7 hit points. Sounds like a job for Astarion. And that's it. With that, every last goblin in the exterior part of the camp has now been dealt with. The ones inside will be none the wiser. We have earned a bunch of XP and can now help ourselves to plenty of loot. Now, admittedly, none of it is truly fantastic, although Grad the Trader here drops a +2 hide armor that he also sells, and his entire shop can now be looted too. Don't get too excited though, the truly valuable items that he has on offer cannot simply be picked up now, those will still need to be bought. We will also grab a bunch of dwarf meat. For Dark Urge characters playing a dwarf, eating this unlocks a special inspiration, but for Sylvia it is just food like any other, albeit with the ability to restore a decent chunk of hit points, so we'll want to collect every last bit. Apart from that, I'll spare you every last detail of this. Suffice it to say that after thoroughly ransacking the place, we have given the goblins a lovely taste of their own medicine, and can now take a long rest before entering the interior of their camp. Before we go to bed, however, let's have a chat with Karlach.
What's on your mind?
Here we can try to cheer her up by once again talking about the infernal iron needed to fix her heart, another ingot still sitting in our inventory.
Let's hope Damon is as good as he seems. Once my engine's handled, I can focus on more important matters. Tadpoles, cults, frosty pints.
And let us also have a chat with Shadowheart next.
You know, I've been catching myself smiling more lately. I think that's your fault.
With her, we want to talk about the artifact protecting us, hoping that she still has it.
Quite the understatement, but yes, I have it. And I'll guard it with my life.
Now this opens up a bit more dialogue, and let's begin by asking her how she obtained the artifact.
I was part of a group sent by my cloister. We were to take the artifact from the Githyanki and bring it to Baldur's Gate, no matter the cost. Though it turned out the cost was very steep. I was the only one of the group to survive. I took the artifact and fled, only to be ensnared by mind flayers before I could finish the mission. That's all I know. That's all I need to know.
Let us also question why she doesn't seek to understand it. After all, it was apparently very difficult to retrieve.
I told you already. I surrendered my memories for the sake of the mission. Shah's secrets must be protected. Duty demands it. Once I fulfill my mission, I can have my memories restored.
Right, now while we can appreciate the conviction, considering our circumstances, it might be time to start asking questions, especially since delivering the artifact to someone else might put us back into harm's way.
That's not a luxury open to many people, us included. I have my faith to turn to instead. You should find something of your own.
Alright, and that's all we can get out of her, so let's drop the matter and begin a long rest.
The air is heavy. Moisture drips down your forehead. Pain shoots through your fingers.
Okay, strange things going on. The ceremorphosis might be setting in after all, and it doesn't matter what we pick here, all options lead to the same outcome.
Your hands shake as they reach upward. Your forehead remains drenched no matter how much you wipe.
Chukil Gate Vlakith Mazathok. Can you feel it crawling through you? Tendrils squirming in your chest, gripping your heart, piercing your belly. Your bones popping, your flesh swelling. I can. I see it in you. I feel it in me. We are lost. I will be quick with my blade. First you, then the others, then myself.
Your minds intertwine. You sense a touch of uncertainty, a touch of disgust.
Okay, now despite using it earlier, we can use our illicit powers again in this conversation, not to convince her, but to peer into Lae'zel's mind, and that actually reveals quite a bit about her, so let's do it.
Your blood runs quicker, feeding the gnawing absence at the center of your mind. Lae'zel's fear grips you. Not fear of death, but fear of insignificance. The great warrior Lae'zel, a failure to her kind. She will wield no silver sword, ride no red dragon. Forever unknown to the great Lich Queen Vlakith.
And while we could now still perform any of the skill checks here, that won't be necessary if we simply tell her to be strong and to believe in her future.
I will not let the Geich take me. I will earn Vlakith's honor. I will wait. But know this, I am watching. If the sickness does not pass come dawn, I will end us all.
Came just in time. You are transforming.
Alright, seems like this is going to be an eventful night. We are now visited by a figure that you might recall from the very first episode, when we were asked to not only create the character of Sylvia, but also that of a Dream Guardian. Now that handsome halfling man reveals himself, and while I'm actually not sure whether or not we have consciously heard his voice before, there is definitely a sense of familiarity here, so let's find out why.
Yes, you have. I saved you before. And I'm here to save you again. Don't worry. You will not become a mind flayer. Not while I'm around. I'll protect you.
No option to comment or ask any further questions. It all seems a tad bit suspicious though, so perhaps it's best if we get up on our own.
Independent. Good. We haven't much time, so listen closely. There is great potential within you. It comes from that parasite. Your instinct is to resist the power it gives, but you must accept it. Nurture it. I will keep it from consuming you. But for the sake of both of us, you must learn to wield it. Fight for the fate of Faerun. A fight we are losing. For now. You can change that. But only if you embrace your potential. I have to go. The enemy is closing in. I will be back. You'll feel better. I promise.
Alright, so what a night. A mysterious dream figure telling us to unlock the full potential of our tadpole, to embrace its power, leaving us to wonder if that's truly the case, or just an elaborate ploy to stop us fighting against the Mind Flayer parasite. Of course, our party has plenty to comment on too, but first let's cast Speak with Animals on Sylvia and speak to Scratch, who wants something from us.
The dog holds a well-chewed ball in his mouth.
And being able to speak with him, we can now ask him to hand that ball over.
All right. It's only fair that you enjoy it too. But if you feel like throwing it, I wouldn't mind that at all.
Well, then let's do exactly that. Throwing Scratch's ball somewhere nearby will have him run over to fetch it, and that unlocks the Fetch Quest achievement. At this point then, I'd say it's time we make the rounds, starting with Gale.
My apologies. Huh. Not quite myself just yet. I had the strangest dream last night. A visitor came to me. A vision of unparalleled beauty and power. She told me she was watching over me, protecting me, and that our tadpoles could prove beneficial if we embrace what powers they have to offer. An uncanny apparition. Not entirely sure what to make of it.
And of course, it might be easier to talk about it if we tell him that we had a very similar dream.
Very curious. In all my readings on the effects of illithid parasites, I've never come across any accounts of correlating dreams between infected parties. Another unique quality of our predicament, perhaps. Are you inclined to take these visitors at their word?
Now, we are asked for our opinion here, but Gale himself seems uncertain, so we can pick freely without losing approval. However, let's show ourselves indecisive too. After all, that probably reflects Sylvia's state of mind the best.
Nothing wrong with maintaining a healthy suspicion in such matters. Still, it might be wiser to keep an open mind on the matter. Our visitor's promises of aid might yet bear valuable fruit.
And up next, we speak to Will.
I had a dream last night. A vivid one. And so did you, judging from the way my tadpole is tingling. Someone came to me and promised to protect me while claiming that the parasite could empower me. Tempting as these powers sound, we should recognize this dream for what it is, the tadpole's little trick. No good ever came from trusting honey-tongued strangers conjured up by illithid worms.
Now, he is a bit more adamant about not trusting the Dream Guardian, but we get no approval gains or losses either way, so how about we tell him that there is some curiosity on our part, which is probably true.
I wouldn't advise it. Play with fire, and you get burned. That's always the way of it.
And moving on, we now speak to Lae'zel.
Glick. I had a dream, as we all did, I suspect. Someone came to me and promised to protect me while claiming that the parasite could empower me. The parasite has taken root, it would seem. Every word, every promise, it is gay deception.
Now, with her, we take a different stance, for obvious reasons. She already threatened us with a blade once before. Let's not give her any reason to do so again.
A wise choice. These parasites are a threat to be destroyed, not an opportunity to be exploited.
Meanwhile, Astarion offers a slightly different perspective.
I had the strangest dream last night. There was a visitor promising me protection and all sorts of delicious powers from the parasites in our heads. Given our shared affliction, I suppose you had a similar dream.
And again, there is no need for secrecy, so yes, we did.
Excellent. Now we can see what these tadpoles can do for us.
Now, Astarion is probably the most open-minded when it comes to the illithid powers, so let's pick an answer along those lines. For now, we are just exploring the powers after all.
Exactly. Waste not, want not. Even when it comes to mind flayer parasites. Now, was there anything else?
2 more to go then. Let's see what Karlach has to say.
I had a wild dream last night. This beautiful entity came to me, promised to protect me, told me the parasite in our heads could give us power.
With her, we once again need to confirm having the same dream first, so let's do so.
Sounds like it. What did you make of it?
And then we learn that she does not seem to have an opinion already formed, so again, let's show ourselves open-minded and hear what she thinks about it.
Seems risky, if you ask me. Couldn't help getting stuck with the tadpole, but taking favors from it? Spooky.
Alright, and finally, we've got Shadowheart.
Did you have any strange dreams of late? Vivid ones?
And once more, we want to tell her that we had the same dream.
Damn. I was hoping my imagination had gotten the better of me. But this must be something more. This dream companion wanted me to use the tadpole, use its power. Whoever it was claimed to be an ally, but I don't know. It seems like we can't escape this mess, in the waking world or otherwise.
Right, for a change, she does not ask us our opinion on the matter, but she seemed hesitant herself. Either way, after speaking to everyone now, only time will tell if the Dream Guardian can be trusted. Now, the game could perhaps be a little clearer about it, but at this point we can in fact start consuming the illithid tadpoles that we've been collecting over the course of our journey. However, before we dive headfirst into munching on tadpoles and embracing the illicit lifestyle, let's make the cut in today's episode. Let me know in the comments down below whether you think we should fully explore these potential new powers, and if you enjoyed the episode, I would be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. As always, if you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then you can go ahead and subscribe to stay up to date, grab some merch over on shop.petecomplete.com, or become a channel member or Patreon, supporter. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.